in the midst of this horrible, tragic day where Charlie Kirk has been shot and killed in Utah while doing an event there, a fight broke out on the floor of the House. We have the video of it. We're going to show you in a second. Representative Anna Paulina Luna is the one who seems to have started it, for lack of a better way of putting it. So let's take a look at the footage first.
Let's wait a minute. The House will be in order. The House will be in order.
All right, so obviously hard to make out what she is saying or others are saying there. But let me explain who said what to the best of our ability. Getting this from CNN's reporting, Representative Lauren Boebert apparently complained that, quote, silent prayers get silent results. Okay, but wait, after the mass shootings, you guys constantly say thoughts and prayers. So here, I've seen people on the left, including in our audience, saying it, but not 1% sarcastically. Like, really, our thoughts go out to Charlie's family. It's tragic. He has a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, etc. So what else should we do? So I don't know what she means, and I don't know what she's looking for. Okay, then Representative Anna Paulina Luna said, "You effing caused this." She shouted to the Democrats across the House chamber. And in response, Democrats could be heard, this now I'm quoting CNN, could be heard shouting back about a school shooting in Colorado Wednesday and a call for action on gun violence. Hey guys, I've got more, but I got a suggestion for those in the House. How about yelling at each other, instead of yelling at each other and recriminations back and forth, you guys roll up your sleeves and do something about it. So if you're saying, hey, this is another gun shooting, and we think the answer is action on gun violence, then, and maybe that might have protected Charlie's life or saved Charlie's life, then instead of yelling, do something about it, introduce a bill. If you're a Republican and you're super mad about it and you think what would help, you guys always say mental health. Now I'm talking about the Republican politicians. Okay, if it's mental health, do you want to do a bill that gets more mental health funding today? That could potentially be productive. Or do you just want to yell at each other? Well, there's more yelling. As she walked into the Capitol, according to CNN, Luna also lashed out at Democrats and accused them of, quote, getting people killed. As she spoke to reporters, and she said, quote, stop with the rhetoric. You're getting people killed. You're going to get one of us killed too while you continue doing it. Yes, so both sides have to stop with the rhetoric. But I would argue that her saying you caused this is part of the problematic rhetoric to begin with. So guys, okay, no one should have shot Charlie or anyone else for what he said, no matter how much you disagree with it. Also, no one should rile up political violence today to say, oh, okay, so we have to strike back, or you caused this, etc. Because then you are doing the same problem. You're saying, oh, okay, if you disagree with, the left disagree with Charlie. By disagreeing with him, they have caused this. So now we should be super mad at all of the left and not just the shooter. Okay, that just doesn't make any sense. So these psychotic shooters, whether they're on the left, the right, wherever they are in the political spectrum, race, religion, doesn't matter. To me, there are two unifying factors. One is, well, they are all shootings. So you can say it's okay, I don't mind, and Charlie was an enormous advocate of the Second Amendment. But it is guns that do it. And so you could say that, okay, yeah, but people shoot the guns, etc. But that is a common theme. I'll just leave it at that. There aren't a lot of drive-by strangulations. And so this mental health is an issue, but we want more funding for mental health. We want red flag laws. We want things not to take anyone's rights away, but to actually begin to minimize the out of control violence in this country. And then the other thing that is leading to this is the nonstop hatred of everyone on each side. Psychos do not represent the entirety of the left or the right. Stop hating each other. The more that our Congress people get at each other's throats, in this case, thank God, only rhetorically, the more the hatred is driven up and makes the situation worse. All right, Sharon, your thoughts on how Congress has reacted?
Yes, it's so stupid. And it's interesting as I think about their first instinct is this, to have a go at each other and to clap back. I can guarantee you that every surgeon, first responder are not just part of the right who tried to work and save this man's life as he was bleeding out with blood gushing everywhere. Their instinct was, we got to do something to help. That's a normal human up close reaction, that instinct, right? If that's not your instinct, then you've morphed into something else, and it's not human. It's just not human. These are a bunch of clowns and fools. And sure, I could weight it and say which side is worse, but they're all fools. They haven't been able to get anything done. They've been dancing around the same issues, despite what we, the people, have demanded. All over the place. People who love guns, people who don't own guns, they haven't been able to do a thing. And this, during a moment of silence, is what they're doing? What trash boxes? This is trash. That's my reaction. Trash. And they all need to go. They could go home tonight and they could turn off the lights and we'd be either in the same predicament or we'd be better off. Trash.
All right, John.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Absolute trash, garbage, early candidates for garbage person of the week on TDR. They're terrible and they're fake. I mean, as you pointed out, Cenk, what they could do something, but we know that they don't want to do anything. Definitely not. They don't care. Like, what is the one thing they've debated on gun control like the last couple of years? Maybe trans people can't have guns. Other than that, they have no interest. But this fills the room and it fills up time and it lets them seem like they care. They love finding opportunities to cosplay as if they care about issues. And so, like trans players in sports or whatever lets them pretend to care about protecting women when generally all they do is strip away their rights. This lets them cosplay that they care about political violence for a little bit. And also it pushes other things out of consideration. And I think it's noteworthy that the particular members of the House that are making the most hay about this, Anna Paulina Luna, Nancy Mace, have been under a lot of pressure recently to do something about the Epstein files. They've been receiving a lot of criticism for wanting to posture as if they care about getting to the truth, but then voting to block it. And so now, is anybody talking about that? I mean, this is a momentous, tragic thing that happened, and they're the most fired up. So, is anybody going to want to pressure them to actually do what they've sworn that they would? I think it's very convenient for them to pretend to care, knowing that they're not going to do anything.
Yeah, so look, to be fair to Representative Luna, and even in this moment, I'm gonna do that. She did know Charlie Kirk personally, and so if she, is enraged by what happened to him and is emotional today, okay, I get it. But then we have to get back to sanity. And so look, so some of the Democrats have been saying, look, 3 Democrats were just shot very recently, right? You saw that happen in the news a couple of weeks ago. Okay, but this whataboutism is going to just get us all killed, okay? So instead of saying, oh, well, the Republicans had it coming because some rando psychotic Republican shot 3 Democrats, or the left has it coming because some psycho shot Charlie Kirk, how about we go in the exact opposite direction and say no one has it coming? Let's stop spreading hatred and let's start spreading empathy. And it's okay to massively disagree with someone. Look, we had Charlie Kirk on the show at the RNC and DNC, right? You guys, a lot of you saw that. And So we disagreed on a lot of things. And then we had a couple of issues where we had shocking agreement. We had agreement about, first of all, representing Americans, and he took on the donor class in a way that actually shocked me. I didn't expect that at all. But I would have never found out if I hadn't talked to him. We agreed on banning private equity from buying residential homes because it's driving up home prices, et cetera. I was really surprised that he agreed with that. But that's because we agreed to be human beings and talk to one another instead of constantly just yelling at one another. And I know that a lot of people on both sides didn't like that. No, I want you to yell at each other. I don't want you to talk to each other. I don't want you to know if you have agreements. And he said terrible things. And on his side, people think I've said terrible things. So what? It's America. We're allowed to say whatever we want. We have freedom of speech. And so if you think he said something terrible, then you fight back with words and you convince people. But you don't fight back with violence. Otherwise, nobody's gonna be around to find out who won. There is no winning with violence. There's only death and destruction. So no, I'm proud that I reached out. I'm proud that we have a show that emphasizes empathy, and I'll do it again. And I'm gonna do it again and again. And right now I offer a hand to anyone on the right who's in media or in politics and say, let's come together. Let's find a way to come together so that we don't egg on the worst parts of our nature, that instead we start to spread ideas that come from our better angels and empathy for one another. And remember that we're all American citizens and we're all in this together, no matter how much we disagree. So I want to end this segment with something very nice that someone wrote in. But the reason I'm reading it is because, guys, on the Young Turks now, we've said this for years. Open minds and open hearts. That's what we're about. And if you have an open heart, a man getting shot in the neck and dying and leaving behind his young wife and his 3-year-old and his 1-year-old should break your heart. If it doesn't, you've lost a little piece of your humanity. Please, please get it back. I believe in you. I think you can. And you do that through empathy and love. And if you're open-minded, you begin to realize that this is not the way. So with that prelude, handle named Zach DeSoto said, Cenk, the honesty of your take has caused me to reflect on my lack of empathy for Kirk and feel some deal of shame. Hadn't realized how calloused I had become. Thank you. Wow. The reason I read that is because I want folks to learn from you, because you saying that in the middle of the show shows how open-minded you were. So yeah, we're dug into our trenches, guys. I get it. Oh, the other side said this and they want to do that and we got to fight back. You're right, we do have to fight back, but through our words and through politics, not through violence, not through hatred. And if you're giving into hatred, you're helping the forces of hatred. Instead, especially today, and by the way, especially if you're on the left, reach out and say to someone on the right, I'm so sorry for your loss. And this is not what this country is supposed to be about. And on behalf of the great majority of the left, I say to Charlie Kirk's family, our hearts go out to you in every imaginable way. We are so sorry for your loss. And God, if we could turn this moment into something that is healing and leads to empathy instead of something that leads to more hatred and more division, that would be amazing. And so we all have to work as hard as we can to try to get to a better place so something like this never happens again. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.